is Anjali, and today we will start how to create application for the predictive cash forecasting. We will see the features and configuration in the predictive cash forecasting application. In the previous sessions, we have already covered the stories related to the cash forecasting, like why we are doing this, what is the need to use this. Just give me a second. There is some technical issue. I need to find it out. Okay. So let's start. In the previous sessions, we have seen what is the cash flow statement, what are the kind of cash flow statement, like we have seen the negative cash flow impact as well as positive cash flow impact. Then we have seen the three kind of activities covered under the cash flow, that is operating, investing and financing. Then we have seen the direct cash flow and the indirect cash flow. So we have discussed example case stories, and yesterday we have covered one story regarding this predictive cash flow, right? So without wasting time, I will move towards the application creation, and then we will see what are the drivers and assumptions which we need to set over here, right? We have already seen the different navigation flows for different users, like the cash manager's navigation flow will be different from the controller's navigation flow, and both will be different from the treasurer's navigation flow. So it means it is having the predefined navigation flow which we can use for the different users according to their requirement. Now I will move towards the application. So this is the planning cloud application platform, where we need to click on the create a new application. Then here we need to write the convenient name for the cash forecasting. So we cannot write more than 8 letters. So let's write here in a simple way. Then this is a sample application which is going to be designed for the predictive cash flow, or we can say predictive cash forecasting. In the application type, you need to select which kind of application it is. Is it a custom financial application? Is it a free form modules, sales planning, strategic workforce planning and cash forecasting? So earlier we used to have only 3 options there, that is custom, free form and modules. Now you can see we have some more different options for different multiple uses. So here I will select cash forecasting, then click on next. Here I will define the start year and the end year of this application. So let's suppose I need to plan this for 10 years. So let's take here 2030, and the fiscal month is January. My currency will be USD, and yes, it is a multi-currency. So it is almost 11 years application, and the task flow type is taskless, currency is USD, multi-currency is enabled and sandboxes is disabled. Now let's move towards the creation of application. We need to wait for a few seconds so that the application status we receive an application status. Asked that application created successfully, and now we need to click on configure to enable features. So we can directly move towards the configuration, or we can click OK and then after I will show you how you can move towards the configuration part. Now we need to move on application cluster. Then you can find this configure option, and here we need to enable the features. So now one by one I will show you about all the required features, why we are enabling the single feature in this application. So first we have the time granularity. So select the time granularity for your cache forecasting process. You can select daily, periodic or both. If you select periodic, you can select either monthly or weekly. As I have already told you that you can do daily, weekly or even monthly forecasting here. If you select weekly, then you can select 53-week planning. Select whether to include quarters and months in the hierarchy. Either we need to include this hierarchy quarters, and we can include the months. So let's suppose I will click here. I need daily, periodic, not monthly. Let's suppose I need to do it weekly, and here I will write quarters, both quarters as well as months. Now we have the second option for the driver based forecasting. So here if we select the driver based forecasting methods to use forecast cache inflows and outflows. This enables you to forecast cache using different calculation methods for different cache line items. Basically, yesterday's session we have discussed about all the line items covered here. So we have different forecasting methods. This we will be discussing today, and based on the methods you select predictive cache forecasting, create sample line items. The line items here are the accounts and for you to use. So let's click here. What will be the inflows in my application? The revenue receipts, the project receipts, and the day sales outstanding receipts. And here in the outflows we have expense payments, fixed asset payments, project payments, recurring payments, salary payments, direct tax and indirect tax payments, days payable outstanding payments. So let's select all of them. You can always select according to your choice. Then we have trend based forecasting. So either we can go with the driver based forecasting, or we can use the trend based forecasting. So if we will click on the trend based forecasting, so here it is written that select trend based forecasting if you want to plan any of your periodic cache using different trend based methods. You can use trend based methods for any line items where the cache forecast can be calculated based on historical trend. Trend based methods can be used only for periodic forecast, not for a daily or weekly. If we wish to do the periodic forecast, then we can use the trend based forecasting. Then we have the predictive forecasting. So select the predictive methods to use for cache forecasting. Select statistical time series to use to use auto predict or predictive planning. If we want to use this predictive forecasting, so here we need to select statistical time series to use auto predict or predictive planning to predict future performance based on historical data. Because every time we heard this word, that is predict or predictive, so it is directly hit in on our mind, that is it is talking about some future related aspects. So predictive future performance will always be based on the historical data. There is some historical data, so on the basis of that we can make the prediction. So select machine learning summary to use machine learning to predict the cache forecasting using the provided machine learning model. So if we want to go with that, then we can click here. So here we need to enable statistical time series and machine learning summary, but I suggest that if you only want to go with a driver based forecasting or trend based, then only enable that. But for the sake of learning, I am taking all of the points so that you can understand what are the methods we have, right? Then fusion, ERP integration and action. So here we can enable integration with Fusion ERP and select ERP integrations to use. If you want to enable this feature, it must be selected the first time you enable features, because after this, if you want to enable this feature after creation of application, you want to do this ERP integration, then it is impossible, because it is only this option you can enable at the time of feature enabling. Okay, so enable integration with Fusion ERP and select ERP integration to use. If you want to select enable this feature, it must be selected the first time you enable features. Enabling this option creates required dimensions which can't be created later, and incremental enablement. When selected, appropriate line items are created to support the integration. So it also creates a party and business unit dimensions that we have seen in the yesterday session, which are mandatory with Fusion ERP integration. Although integration with Fusion ERP is not yet supported, because initial we are in the initial phase, right? So select this option if you want to use it in the future when the feature is available, so we can enable this. Now here are some more options. Either we want to integrate with Fusion ERP account receivable, then Fusion ERP account payable, and Fusion ERP bank transaction, so we can enable accordingly. Now we have some more features, like we can go with the what if scenarios. This is the additional features we have. So what if scenarios, daily and periodic reconciliation, and then variance analysis. Here we have some custom dimensions we can add, like already existing dimension like bank category, custom one, party, and business unit. So let's select the features one by one. Okay, so bank we need to load the metadata, that's why we don't have the predefined features. Then if we go with the category, you can see we have the options that this particular dimension is valid for revenue receipts, days sales outstanding receipts, expense payments, fixed assets payments, recurring payments, salary payments, direct tax payments, indirect tax payments, then days payable outstanding, then trend. Then we have RD dimension, so we can enable all the required receipts and payments, because the cash flow will be always based on the receipts and payments, so that we can go with the exact cash um, flow at the end of the period, how much cash we have basically. And the business units will also be valid for this. We can even rename this a particular dimension if we want. Let me quickly enable all the required features. Right, so now if I satisfy with all of the features, so I can click on the enable feature, then continue. Till now it is same like whatever we have covered in the EPBC's application, in the financial module, in the workforce module, in the capital expenditure module. We have already seen how to enable features, so it is just like that. But after that, here the assumptions are based on the payment terms and due dates, so that again we need to configure. And we will load some metadata, required metadata for the bank dimension, as well as the party dimension, business units, category. Okay, so here one information comes that the cash forecasting functionality that you selected was successfully enabled. Before you can use these features, sign out and sign in again. So let's sign out once and we'll sign in again. Let me add one user quickly. and I will go to the manage application rules. Here also, for sake of testing, I will provide all the application rules to this user. Now we need to sign out once. Then we'll sign in again. Okay, so this is the home page for this application. Now we need to go to the configuration portion. So let's again click on the application. Then we need to select the configure card. Right, so here only two features you can see which we need to configure, that is cache matrix and forecast range setup. First I will click on the forecast range setup. Here basically we need to select the current fiscal year and the period to control the beginning and end duration of our scenarios. So here the forecast current fiscal year is 24, financial year 24, and the forecast starts date is the system date we can select, or we can select the specific date. So if I will click here, I can select here any specific date for forecast to be start, and we can go with the system date also. So system date will always take the current date, that is today's date when we create the application. But sometimes what happens, users want to start this particular application in a future date, so we can go with a specific date also. Now here we need to specify the daily rolling forecast and the periodic rolling forecast range. So number of forecast days here we can select. Suppose I need to do forecasting for 45 days, and then rolling forecast range will automatically highlighted that today 7th of August 24 to 28th of September, that will cover the 45 days. And so you can understand, if I am having the actual number of period or actual number of days, I should have from January 24 to July, or we can say 6th of August, right? 6th of August will be my actual, but forecasting will be start from the 7th of August, right? And it will give us forecasting for 45 days, and we can decrease this also. Now number of actual days, we can again select. So here only 15 actual days we can select. So let's select the 15. So you can see the actual rolling forecast range is 23rd of July to 6th of August. So again it is calculated on the basis of period what we select, right? Now move towards the periodic rolling forecast. So here you can see we have number of forecast periods. So we can increase this also. This is a periodic forecast, right? So suppose I need to take 20. So you can say automatically the weekly range changes from 30 to something like here we can see that week 32, 5th August is a week 32 of the year, and it will give us the forecasting rolling forecast for week 51, that is till December 22. Then we have some actual number of actual periods we need to select. So again I will select 20 periods. So you can see my rolling forecast range will define me from 25th of March to 11th of August, or we can increase it also. Let's take 26. So in that case, yeah, so 12th of February 24, week 7 to week 32, 11th of August. Now we need to click on save. Change in current year will reflect in all business process. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Now it is selected. Okay. So now we will move towards the cash matrix. And here under the cash matrix, we are having several members like this, which is predefined here in the cash flow. So cash matrix, like a complete cash flow statement, we have net cash flow, current period, forecast net cash flow, then forecasted operating cash flow, then we have forecasted non-operating cash flow, forecasted cash flow outflow, quick ratio, inflow outflow, balance age, average DSO, average TPO, right? Then we have customer receipts and receivables invoices. Then after that we have some payables, overdue invoice, receivables, overdue invoices, unapplied receipts, offset, then total operating cash, investing cash, and financing cash. So at last you can see we have the cash from operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities, and some customer receipts and supplier payments. So all these features we have already available. If we wish to add some more, then we can click on the add option and we can click here like this. But right now we don't want to add anything because we have already enough things to go with the flow. So let's click on save. The data has been saved now. Then close this. Now we will move towards the dimensions. Let's see what are the dimensions we have after enabling all these features. So if you can see in the yesterday session we have seen about the cubes. We have two hybrid BSO cubes and two hybrid ASO cubes. So two cubes are for the reporting purpose and two for the input cubes. So like DCSH is the daily forecasting and PCHS is for the periodic forecasting. Then we have some reporting cubes. Let me make it clear once again. So PCSH is for periodic hybrid cube. If we want to do the periodic forecast, then we need to select this cube. If we want to do daily forecast, then we need to go with DCSH hybrid BSO. Then we have one reporting ASO and one more reporting ASO, that is RCSH. Okay. Now you can see under the, let's go with the periodic cube. So we have bank, business unit, category, currency, entity, forecast, method, line item, party, period, scenario, version, and years. So in the yesterday session we have seen all the dimensions one by one. Today I will show you how to load metadata for this. And one more thing, let's go with the periodic forecast method over here. So now you can see all the available forecast methods, that is machine learning prediction, smart drivers, statistical prediction, drivers, trend, manual input. So like in the other modules we have the direct data input, here we have the naming as manual input. Driver based and trend based is same. We have some statistical prediction, smart drivers, and machine learning prediction. So we can go with any of them. If we go with the driver based planning, so here we have some total cash flow. Under that we need to specify, specify all these assumptions like OCF, pay term 1, pay term 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have calculated cash flow. Then we have some total direct taxes. So here we are having the tax installment 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can specify this separately in the data forms provided to us. And in the manual input we can use trend or manual input as well. Then here are some forecasted or adjustments members we have under the total forecasted cash, no forecast method, and forecast method assumptions. So let's see what are the assumptions we have. Cash drivers, recurring assumptions, trend method assumptions, indirect tax assumptions, salary payment assumptions, method assumptions, project milestone assumptions. If we go with the recurring assumptions, we have recurring amount, pay basis, pay period, recurring frequency, number of occurrences. Then we have trend method assumptions, percentage increase or decrease, tax basis, payment incidence, indirect taxes, salary payment assumptions. We have periodic salary basis. Here we need to specify the salary incidence, annual payment. Okay, let's take this example for the salary payment assumption. So like this, we need to specify the periodic salary basis assumption. We can choose here monthly as well as annually. Then salary incidence, we need to go with the beginning period or ending period or anything which is provided. We need to select over here. Annual payment, here we need to specify the due date when the salary payment will be paid to the employees. Then under the payment term, you can see we need to specify the percentage and due period, payment term 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And I will show you one more thing here. Here we need to take 100% in the payment term assumptions, and then we have some forecast range setup. So that we already made here. We have some business rules provided in this application, so we can go with that. Periodic salary payments. Right. So now let's go with the variables. One more thing, if we want to load metadata, so we can use any of the previous methods we have used, like data management, or we can use the direct metadata load. So let me load one metadata. So move towards the dimension, then click on import, click on create, and here I will load bank metadata. So I have created some metadata files. Let's try is it correct or not. It should be comma delimited, validate, then import. If it is correct, then we will load some other metadata as well. Close this and close this. Under the jobs, let's see the status. Okay, so import metadata is throwing an error. Let's see what is the error here. Dimension member null contains leading white space. Okay, not a big issue. Let's see, are we getting the required dimensions metadata or not. So first let me show you the metadata file which I have created. So I have exported one file, then added some bank accounts over here, changed the parent name and alias by default, and some data storage properties, then add aggregation data storage plan type, and like we used to do earlier, how to load metadata, it is same. I just added few bank accounts over here, specify the alias names, and this. Now we will see all the bank accounts successfully loaded there or not. So move towards the dimensions, or we can go with all cubes. Right, so we have successfully added all the bank accounts. Let me show you one. So my member name is HDFC, then alias table is HDFC Bank. Then we have the data storage property as dynamic calc. Let's make it store only. Alright, rest you can see the store properties. Alright, now let's add some more metadata files like entity, party and units. So again, basically here in the configuration this is not available one option to load metadata files. That is why I am using the direct metadata type. And once it is done, do not forget to refresh the database, because otherwise sometimes we are unable to find the items which we load. So we will refresh, but before that let me add some more dimensions quickly. Import, create, and I'm taking from my local file, local system. Now let's add the party dimension, party metadata, open, and we need to use units metadata, business units basically. Business units, party and entity, because others are already predefined here, so we do not need to take all of them at a time. Validate and import. Close this. Now let's see the jobs. Alright, we have some basic minute errors. Why? Because I have created this files through the another application, so minute errors are, you can see no data to display but throwing an error, and the job status is completed, right? So records read are 18, records processed are 18 and rejected 0. Still they are throwing an error, so sometimes we need to check first, then after make yourself in doubt. So let's check this in the dimensions. So let me see here. Alright, so I'm having all the required members under my entity, right? And here let me see the business units. Absolutely correct. So I have added the finance unit, sales unit, marketing unit as well as IT unit. Then line items, I have already shown you about the account dimension. We have seen the dimension as a naming of line items. And then we have some party dimension. So two kind of parties here in the business, you're all aware about this, like the customers and the suppliers. So under the top customers, I have added few members as the Gamma Enterprises, ABC Enterprises, just a hypothetical name. I have used over here the Tally Enterprise, Anjali Enterprises, then I have used my own name over here as a customer. And then we have some suppliers, that top suppliers and other suppliers. Okay, so my top suppliers are not loaded successfully, right? Let's see. Okay, maybe I have added some separately some suppliers, that's why we are unable to see that. So how we can add one member, add one child, like suppose I need to add let's write here the GG Enterprises. These are my suppliers. Let's suppose I'm taking my material from here for the manufacturing. And yes, save this. Okay, so one supplier we have few customers and we have few suppliers. Now we will refresh the database once, and then after we will move towards the variables and user preferences. Okay, so we have invalid consolidation operator for member total entity. Ignore can only be used when your parent is a label only. Alright, so let me check here in the entity. Okay, let's make it label only for now. Okay, it is a predefined. So let's change this only. The total entity, it should not be stored, right? Because under the total entity, we must have few entities over here. I don't know, we need to see the consolidation operator. Alright, this is ignore. Let's add this. Alright, we do not need to change the data storage property. We can directly change the consolidation operator. Okay, so I will correct this, or even we can change the data storage property here separately in the metadata file. Now let's again try to refresh the metadata. Okay, again we have that error. Invalid consolidation operator for member, unspecified entity. Ignore can only be used when your parent is a label only member. Okay, let me see which parent is not having the label only property. So we need to change that. Previously, I thought I have got this error. Okay, we need to change it one by one. Okay, let's try to take the file from here once. If we get the metadata, then we can change from directly in the file. It will be more comfortable. Oh, alright. At the end, I guess we have that entity 18 members. It means it is loaded. Alright, so this is our metadata file. Okay, so this is the ignore consolidation operator. We can make it positive everywhere, right? Let me remove few files which are not this time required. Or we can change the file as well. Let's take the same alias, valid for false. Okay, the parent you can see here, it is never share, it is not label only. So either we can change this only, or we can change the consolidation operator. Let me first remove this unnecessary columns. Okay, this is not that file. To pass calculation will be used for the data storage on data at the time of data, so we can remove it for now. and here I will copy this, paste this, and let's drag it all over because we need the positive consolidation operator. For now I'm making store everyone, and we can remove this again. Rest we can delete. Alright, I will remove the additional columns. Okay, now let's save this in a comma delimited format, and let me select my folder, new entity. This time we will load it again. Okay, we need to click on import, and here we will select the entity, choose file, we'll select the new entity, and validate and import. We can use one more option if we have already that file, so we can go with this. Because here we need to click on the overwrite file, then upload. And then if we will click on the import, this time we will select it from here. Job entity metadata, save and close. So we can move towards the job. Import metadata, and now then click on next and then next, finish. Again here some errors, completed with errors. You can see this warning. Okay, 4 records are rejected, rest 18 are selected, and it is rejected due to the object name total entry is invalid. Object name cannot be start with any of these prefixes because basically OEP is from my another module, that is why it is not taking that name. So no issues, we can ignore that for the sake of testing. It is not a mandatory to take everything same. We can always change according to the requirement of the application. Alright, so now again we are having all the entities. Now let's make a refresh database. At least you understand the logic, how we create the application, how we enable the features, how we make the things one by one. So it is throwing the error. I need to change this again. I don't know why it is saying the invalid consolidation operator for member unspecified entity. Ignore can only be used when your parent is a label only. Unspecified entity is this. Let's delete this. Okay, there is no option for that. It is automatically taking that. I cannot change that. Let's change the name of this. Okay, I need to change it from file only. Let me remove this unnecessary member from here. I hope this time it will reflect successfully. Yeah, it is correct. Now we will quickly see that after metadata load, what we need to do over here. Go to the tools. It is a complete configuration I am showing you. Go to the variables, and here we need to select all the required variables. We can even include the no party, all the level 0 descendants. Why level 0? Because sometimes we need to take only base level members. That is why I'm selecting all the base level members over here. Again, for the entity, we have yesterday seen that we have two kind of entities, one for the normal entity, one for the controller entity. So we need to select the variables for all of these units. We need to define everything over here. Not only I descendants, we need level 0 descendants. It is predefined few things, right? Like period, we have reporting period, we have context period. Alright, so here I will select the level 0 descendants for scenario as well, and for the versions also. If we want to add any new member separately, new dimensions, we can add it from here. Alright, now click on save, and then we will move towards the user preferences, and from here one by one we will select the customer. So we have customers. Let's select Gamma Enterprises. We need to select one category. It can be any project. Okay, right now we have not loaded the category, so we will load it separately. So this is the way, at least you understand. Okay, quickly I will load it. Let me see if I'm having. Okay, I have separately added the members in the category dimension, and under the all cubes I'm adding this. Let's suppose under the all projects I want to add one category as the rental project. Alright, this is the store. Save. Again, I will select one customer, one project, then one supplier. As we have selected the level 0 descendants, that is why we are able to see this. Just remember the party should be different because basically the name of the dimension is party, but the user variable is different. We have one customer, one supplier, so we need to select it accordingly. Now we will move towards the period. I will show you this quickly because we have some more sessions after this. Alright. Okay, so if we want to go with the day wise, so we can select it. Otherwise, we can change it. Alright, then select Finance US entity. Then we can go with currency. Then we need to select one more entity. Okay, we need to understand this. One controller entity we have and the other one is context entity. So we can change it because controller entity should be different over here. Basically, we need to do the calculation according to the entities. Let's select here due date. Every time we load actual, we need to select actual, otherwise we can take forecast directly and save this. So for now, we need to move towards the data forms directly from here. This is the complete way to assemble this application, and tomorrow I will continue. Okay, so you can just create the application, and in the tomorrow session we will see what are the assumptions we are having. Okay. So let me show you one assumption how you can add separately. Basically, this is the vast topic which we need to discuss one by one. But this is the way how you can create the application, right? All right. So every time you need to add some payment terms, you need to select the right business, the correct business unit, the correct category, the correct party, and everything, right? Okay, so for now, I will just end this session. Tomorrow we will continue this again. If you have any doubts or queries, please feel free to ask to the BISP Solutions. Thank you so much.